I wanted to talk a little bit today about some of the things that have really been occupying my mind and my time, and a lot of how I've been approaching the world in the past few years, and especially recently. It is no secret that we as crafters and makers are powerful. We have these really incredible skills that, we can, as people will often point out, you can take 2 sticks and a ball of string and make something that's useful and that you can wear and that is a thing that isn't just a tangle of fibers. What I think we don't really discuss as frequently in the mainstream channels of the fiber world, certainly there are people who are talking about this and making it their mission and all of these things, is how those skills and that power can be used to help us both avert climate disaster and also to adapt and to be resilient. Being able to mend things, knowing how to make something yourself, kind of cutting some of the stages of the production process out so that they don't have to take place in big factories that are, overseas, where it has to be shipped to and from like all across the world and performed by people who are being exploited and mistreated and underpaid. That is hugely powerful. There's a reason that there is a dialogue, though I would say it's very still kind of below the surface in a lot of ways, of how makers, crafters, whether you're a sewist or a knitter or whatever, that we can fight fast fashion. We have these sort of survival skills. If you think about spinners, have the ability to turn just loose fiber into usable string or yarn or rope or whatever it might be. And I just think that's amazing. So I've been thinking lately about how I might use this space, this channel, again, and a little differently than I was using it before. And what I keep coming back to is exploring that intersection between craft and sustainability. And what are the ways in which they feed each other? What are the ways in which we can adapt some of our habits just as knitters or spinners or sewists or, crocheters, to be more sustainable and to help each other in the process, to make the world a little kinder, a little bit more generous. And I think that's so much of what we need right now, are not necessarily big individual actions, but gentle, gradual, collective changes in how we interact with the world around us, how we lead our own lives and connect with others. And it's not as sexy. It's not the kind of narrative that we've been taught to look for. So many of our stories, our movies, our headlines even, are so focused on the triumph of an exceptional individual. And as I think we all know, while the individual is very important, that when you're talking about something like craft, the individual can only do so much. The one knitter can't save the entire world. You can't make all of the sweaters yourself by hand out of, sustainable wool or something. It's it takes more than that. It takes these shifts within a community and the building of communities in order to change the way that we're all doing things and change the way that we're thinking about things so that we can have a greater impact together. So I still have tea. Actually, I have some right here. This is just a very sort of standard boring black tea. I mean, it's not boring, it's nice and strong and I like it. But it has some milk in it that I just got yesterday at the farmer's market from a local farm, which is nice. I want to find ways to start conversations and to help us all think and work together about how our really powerful, really special, amazing skills of crafting and making can come together and really change some things. How we think about products, how we think about consumerism, how we think about self-sufficiency and impact, and all of these different things that all are connected and all feed together. And I'm not saying that I am some kind of unassailable expert. I just want to make a place in this strange world of the internet for a little bit of quiet reflection and sharing and comfort, actually, because as much as I appreciate and understand that a huge amount of climate activism and communication has to be in these very urgent and dire and angry sort of tones and framings, which, believe me, I am angry a lot of the time about these things. But I think that that also can't be the only thing. I think that we have to find other ways to connect over these issues and to deal with them and solve them. And part of that is just being able to be soft and to rest and to find ways to be kinder to each other, and sometimes just take some time to sit down with a project and a cup of tea, because otherwise we get tired and burnt out. And it's also really easy for people who don't want to deal with it to stop listening and tune you out. And no one wants to be angry all the time. No one wants to have to think about how awful things could get. No one wants to feel afraid constantly. And I think that's why we have been seeing all of these reports of eco-anxiety and of people feeling really hopeless and helpless. And if there's one thing that we as crafters know, it's that in times of difficulty and stress and despair, one of the best ways to cope with it is to pick up our projects and to start making something, because you feel that sense of power and you feel a sense of control and you feel a sense of accomplishment. And so I want to find different ways. My radiator's saying hello. Yeah, it makes a lot of knocking noises. I want to find a way to share that sense of accomplishment and to direct it into the issues of climate and sustainability, because they are the issues of our time and really all of human history at this point. It's the most terrifying and giant problem that we as a species have had to face. And again, that can sound so scary and huge, and like there's nothing that you could do. So I want to try to bring it back to a human scale and find a place and a time to take a deep breath and to work through some of these things together while we're working on our projects. So grab a cup of tea or coffee or water or whatever it is that you want to drink and pick up your latest project, and let's craft a better world together.